terms of percentage chance, I'd say there is a higher likelihood of the matches against Pakistan proceeding rather than New Zealand games at this stage. Obviously, if we've seen a number of sports tournaments around the world, whether it be Olympics, whether it be Wimbledon, whether it be the Open Golf Championship, which is now being pushed back within that June-July window. So at this stage, I'd say the New Zealand games are probably 50-50, and there's a slightly higher percentage of the games against Pakistan proceeding. We've been maintaining contact with the New Zealand Cricket Board. As you're probably aware, the New Zealand tour is going to be to more than just Ireland. They're also touring Scotland and then the Netherlands in front of us. So it requires multiple stops and therefore much more consideration it would be if it was a simple bilateral tour. What we've been trying to do is to make the New Zealand Cricket Board's life a little bit easier. We've noted the comments from the Chief Executive of New Zealand Cricket in relation to the tour being highly unlikely to proceed. At this stage, we're trying to find a definitive trigger for highly unlikely becoming definitively postponed. And that would be a number of different considerations, which would be around hotels, it would be around the ability to be able to get visas processed from the New Zealand team. So yes, we've been maintaining contact with New Zealand Cricket. In relation to Pakistan, the tour that Pakistan is making to Ireland is only 2 T20 games. They've got a much more significant tour to both England and to the Netherlands. So really, we are probably more beholden to the discussions and the decisions which are reached in relation to the England tour and the Netherlands tour, and thereafter we will do our very best to slot in with whatever slot is left to us to be able to host those games. Well, I suppose there is the same chance for those matches going ahead as any other game. I guess the later in the season that we are looking, the better the chance there is for hopefully for the pandemic to have subsided and a restart to international sport in whichever sport being able to proceed. We are maintaining contact with the ECB in relation to those, and the ECB clearly has a much larger jigsaw puzzle to have to operate. We're in contact with them. We've certainly said whatever they'll give to us, we're going to try and be as flexible as we possibly can. That's a good question. We are at the moment looking at convening a call with all of the ICC chief executives next week, in fact, and presumably that is going to be one of those discussions which is going to be on the agenda. At this stage, it's going to be too early to make a call, certainly on that event, which is still more than 5 months away. Even before we get to that, there's going to be the more immediate consideration of the Women's World Cup qualifier in Sri Lanka at the beginning of July, and I suspect that's going to be higher up the agenda than the T20 World Cup will be at this stage. In relation to the latter, we've had some preliminary discussions with the ICC, and I think they believe that at least 6 weeks is a decent lead-in period to make that call, so I wouldn't anticipate a decision being made on that for another month or so.